Hello, everyone. You are listening to Uncomfortable Truths with Euclid Phoenix, where I talk about politics, religion, and other BS that I find interesting. Today, for religion, we will take a look at Wiccan creation stories, origins, myth, and meaning. Let me start with a question. How does the universe begin? If your religion doesn't have just one creation story, when people think about creation stories, they usually think of something fixed, a beginning, a sequence, a clear explanation. But in Wicca, things don't quite work that way. There isn't just one creation story. There are multiple, and more importantly, they're not always meant to be taken literally. So what do Wiccans believe about the beginning of the universe? And why are their stories so different from more traditional religious narratives? Wicca is a modern pagan religion that emerged in the mid-20th century, often associated with figures like Gerald Gardner. It draws inspiration from ancient pagan traditions, nature-based spirituality, and mythological symbolism. But unlike many religions, Wicca does not require a single unified doctrine. That means creation isn't described in one fixed story. It's explored through different myths and symbolic narratives. The divine as duality. One of the most common themes in Wicca cosmology is duality, the goddess and the god. Many Wiccan traditions speak of the goddess, the horned god. These are not always seen as separate beings in the way people think of gods in other religions. Instead, they are often viewed as complementary forces. The goddess associated with the moon, fertility, nature, and cycles. The god associated with the sun, the wildlife, force, and growth. In some Wiccan traditions, the universe begins with a single divine source, which then divides into these two aspects. This isn't just about gender, it's about balance, polarity, interdependence. Theme 2, creation from the goddess. In some Wiccan traditions, especially those that emphasize the goddess, the story began with her alone. The star goddess. One well-known myth describes the primordial goddess existing before everything, sometimes called the star goddess. She exists in a void, and in that void, she becomes aware of herself. And from that awareness, creation begins. In some versions, she divides herself to experience love. This division creates the God, the universe. Meaning, creation is not an act of command. It's an act of self-expression, desire, experience. Theme 3, creation through union. Another common theme is creation through the interaction between the goddess and the god, the sacred union. Instead of creation happening in isolation, it happens through relationship. The goddess and the god unite. Their interaction generates life. The natural world emerges from their connection. Interpretation. This reflects something central to Wicca thought. Creation is dynamic, not static. It's not a one-time event. It's ongoing. Theme 4, cyclical creation. Unlike linear creation stories, where everything begins once, Wiccan cosmology often seems time as cyclical. I can't say that right. The cycle of life. In Wicca, life, death, and rebirth are continuous. The seasons reflect creation. Nature itself is a living expression of the divine. Key idea, creation didn't just happen once, it's always happening. Examples, spring, birth, summer, growth, autumn, decline, winter, rest and renewal. Meaning, the universe isn't something that was created and then left alone. It's something that is constantly renewing itself. Theme 5, nature as sacred. Wiccan creation stories often blur the line between creator and creation, the divine and nature. Instead of a distant creator, The divine is present within the world. Implication: the earth is sacred, life is sacred, nature is not separate from the divine. Interpretation: creation isn't something external, it's something you are part of. Comparing to other creation stories, Wiccan creation stories differ from many traditional religious narratives. Key differences: no single authoritative story. Wicca allows multiple interpretations. 2. Symbolic rather than literal. Stories are often understood as metaphors. 3. Emphasis on balance and cycles, not a one-time creation event. 4. The divine is immanent, present within the world, not separate from it. The uncomfortable truth. Here's the uncomfortable truth, especially for people used to more structured belief system. Wicca doesn't give you one clear answer about creation. Instead, it offers multiple ways to understand existence. For some people, that's freeing. For others, it's frustrating because it requires interpretation. What these stories are really about. If you step back, Wiccan creation stories aren't just trying to explain how the universe began, they're exploring what the universe means. Themes they emphasize: connection, balance, transformation, participation in creation. Philosophical takeaway: in many Wiccan traditions, creation is not separate from experience, meaning you are not just observing the universe, you are part of it. Conclusion: so what are Wiccan creation stories? They're not a single narrative. They are symbolic, diverse, focused on balance and cycles, rooted in the idea that creation is ongoing. Final thought. Maybe the most interesting thing about Wiccan creation stories is this. They don't just ask where the universe came from, they ask, what role do you play in it? If you visit the website www.witchschool.com, they have a free course that introduces you to Wicca. I believe it is the second lesson of this course where they talk about a creation story. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Feel free to check out my website in the notes. I also have a link to my Patreon page if you want to financially support me, as these podcasts take a lot of time to put together. Every dollar helps. I hope you have a nice day.